actually staying cool finally. Haven't seen over 200 degrees, so that's kind of nice. The tires are really hard. It's quite cool this morning. They're starting to soften up now, starting to feel better. I overheated my brakes for the first time ever because I've never been able to do more than 2 laps at a time, so that's interesting. Have to figure something out there. Haven't beaten my best time yet. There's lots of traffic out there. There's 50 cars at this track day, so anyways, going out again here in probably 20 minutes. And breaking up whenever it gets hot, and it's not overheating, it's staying below 200, but it's just got an ignition breakup, so I think it's bad coil. I'm going to order a new one, but I just iced the coil over lunch, and I guess we'll find out if that helps it, because it always seems to work fine in the morning before everything in the engine bay heats up. I haven't gone any faster yet. It's still like 217 was my best, but there's tons of traffic out there, so having fun. Car's working pretty good. I'm gonna go up for another session here and maybe see if I can get some clear enough track to try and beat my 215. I know there's lots more in it. finally got some clear track, and then I pushed a turbo gasket or something. There's a missing bolt right here, and it cooked my turbo blanket, and it melted my hood like a marshmallow. So there was a bunch of exhaust gas coming out of there, and I'm not really sure how, but got a big exhaust leak. So that's probably it for today. Definitely didn't improve on my time, but I got a lot more track time in than I usually get because I was able to keep driving it with the coolant temps actually staying down. But yeah, she definitely piled up a little bit. Let's see what we can do about that. I'll get it apart. Here's the aftermath from the exhaust manifold gasket, or what I'm fairly certain is the exhaust manifold gasket. Wrecked my shiny hood, so I probably get to practice my painting again, or I might sand this smooth and wrap the vents black. See what happens. So I'm going to take the exhaust manifold off and figure out what happened here. Okay, so one of these bolts came off and the other three were tight-ish, but not as tight as they should be. And this gasket was definitely leaking. You can see here, that's where that was lined up with. So it looks like it might have been leaking a little bit over here too. So I'll probably get this exhaust manifold machined, get a better gasket than this fiber one, because I think that's probably my issue. But at the same time, I didn't burn it out. It's still there, it just wasn't flat by the looks of it. So it warped it a bit. So I'm guessing that flange isn't flat. So maybe if I put one of these gaskets back in, but I get one that's, get this flat again, it'll work. And then this gasket I think is fine. I just need to double nut them or something so that they don't come loose again. Okay, so this gets more interesting. My center housing, or center cartridge on the turbo came loose. This wheel in here was already not good, the exhaust wheel. So hopefully it didn't wreck the compressor wheel. But yeah, that's not good. I don't imagine that was real easy on the turbine wheel either. I really hope the compressor's okay though, because it's a billet HTA 3582, and that exhaust wheel is already junk. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. So I gotta pull that turbo and see what's going on there. I keep going and it keeps getting worse. Look at my turbo drain line. So the turbo literally came out like this. It was apart. Two of the bolts that hold the center section together are missing. Well, is it two? Maybe it's more than two. No, it's all of them but two. Maybe they're in the bottom here. I don't know. But it cooked all the coolant lines to the turbo, cooked the turbo blanket, cooked the drain line, and somehow I still had oil pressure when I pulled into the pits, and there's still oil in the engine and it looks good. There is no coolant in the engine, however. I think that leaked out after we stopped though, because I was still reading normal coolant temps when I pulled off the track. The exhaust wheel is damaged, but it was already damaged from when I had a band clamp go through the turbo. And the compressor housing is fine. It didn't touch anything in here. There's no shaft play. So I'm just gonna get this, get the exhaust wheel replaced, clean up a little bit of damage to the housing where it touched because it came loose. Get a new turbo blanket, new water lines, new oil drain, and I think we'll be okay. But that was super, super lucky.